Well, hello and welcome to this short video. My name's Stephen. I'm here in my home office in Melbourne, Australia, and I've got my dear friend from Canada, Anita, who's a retired teacher with us today. And what we're going to share with you is we're going to give you some insights into the value that can be received through the Wealth Boss Woogi English Woogi Create package. Now, Anita being a retired teacher, we feel is really the ideal person from her insights to just give you some of the value. I know that Anita's very excited about this program. Being a retired teacher, she took up teaching because she just loved teaching and being able to help children. And this is an extended way that she can do it. But now she's able to do it with children all over the world from the comfort of her home in Calgary, Canada. So, Anita, are you with us?
I am. Thank you, Stephen. Hi, everybody. As Stephen said, my name's Anita, and I was a junior high school teacher for quite a few years. And so I come to Woogi English and the whole opportunity to change the lives of children all over the world. Very excited because it's an opportunity to carry on the whole idea of teaching that I first started with, only in an improved format as far as I'm concerned. So I want to say a few words about why I see so much value in Woogi. Woogi, to this point in time, is the result of more than 10 years of work, and the creators of Woogi English and Woogi Create have created a game-based, kid-driven system that really works. That's right, it's game-based, kid-driven system, and that is why it really works. So why is that important? Well, when I was teaching, nothing like this was available, and learning was still, the classroom. You get up in front and you tell the kids what to do, and really sort of a structured environment. Now, even though I tried to make the curriculum as interesting and exciting as I could and incorporated a bunch of activities and that sort of thing, there was just not the scope for the kids to be able to work at their own speed, do their own thing, and have that feeling of accomplishment that they can get from something like this Woogi English program. Okay, they just couldn't get excited about it. Now, kids get excited about learning English in the Woogi English style because they are the ones who drive the learning process. They learn at their own speed. They are able to get almost instant gratification or verification that they have actually learned something. They can record and listen to their voice as they learn English. They actually become the stars of their own movie. They have to learn the script, including the grammar and the spelling and all those things that are important in the English language. And then that is all used in their own particular movie script where they are the star. So it makes it a lot of fun for them. And you can see how it would take ownership of something like that quite readily. As adults, we often want instruction. And basically with Woogi English, that's not necessary. You just get this in front of a kid, and you can be a cheerleader and you can be a coach, but really you're doing them the most good just by getting out of their way and letting them get on with it. You get this in front of a kid and they'll work it out just like they do every other game that they learn to play online. Okay? And so that's why I think that this is so special. I mean, I love teaching, and when we had what we had, and basically throughout history, that's been the way, the classroom instruction, and it's worked very well, and there's much to recommend it. But when I see this kind of opportunity for kids all over the world to learn English, first of all, and then through Woogi Create to interact with other kids all over the world and get to know those children, get to know a bit more about their culture, to actually engage in a world, the Woogi Create world, where they interact with these children and they take part in skills and activities where they learn entrepreneurship, they understand other cultures, they learn the values, 21st century values that go along with entrepreneurship. It's really something special, and yeah, I get pretty excited about it. I have gone in and I've actually started playing some of the games in Woogi English, and I still have to move on to Woogi Create, and I'm looking forward to that. But Woogi English just flows into Woogi Create, and when the child is ready to incorporate Woogi Create, they're invited into this other world where they can just take part in all these activities. It's really something special. And this kind of learning, I know there have been studies in Harvard, places like that, that really point out that this is the best way for a child to learn. This is really the only system in the world that operates this way, and it's very, very affordable for people everywhere to be able to learn English and learn these entrepreneurial skills. I'm really happy to be part of something like this. And I think that Stephen might want to say a few words in a few minutes about the business aspect of this, because as well as being an educational opportunity that doesn't exist anywhere else, there is also an opportunity for people to earn money, and by doing it, obviously help their families, help their communities. And so the benefits of this Woogi English system from Wealth Boss just go on, and I can't say enough about it. So maybe, Stephen, you'd like to say a few words, and then I'll click on the start button and just click through a few of the images that people will see when they actually get their own Woogi on their computer and start having fun with it.
Yeah, sure. Look, thanks, Anita. I'll just give you from my viewpoint. I was one of those kids in my, I'm probably aging myself a little bit now, but they didn't even talk about ADD or ADHD in those times, but I'm sure I was one of those hyperactive kids, and I was always pretty successful in the classroom, but I never studied. I used to be one of those pains sitting at the back of the room and giving the teacher a hard time because that learning environment wasn't perfect for me. This learning environment would have been just wonderful for me in those times. But what I love about the program, a lot of the stuff that Anita has already shared with you, and the big part for me is to think that I can go out and share this with grandparents and parents anywhere in the world. Think of firstly, as we mentioned, adults can play this. However, if you're not an adult you're not a type of person who likes to play games, then this really wouldn't be the ideal learning program for you. If you like to play games, then adults can obviously learn English and learn the entrepreneurship skills and get all the benefits that children do. But it's specifically designed for children. And the part that I like when I looked into it was when you look at traditional schools, and it doesn't make, we're not making traditional schools wrong here, but the traditional school setup is that you go to school, you learn all these lessons, and then you have a test, test in the halfway through the year or the end of the year. And if you don't pass that test, then you get graded on all of that. Whereas in a game-based environment, you're making mistakes naturally. That's all part of the learning process, actually. And that's the really powerful part about this learning program, that while kids are playing it and learning, they go there and they might make a mistake, but that's all natural for kids today. You see them, that's how they get higher and higher up levels of the game, by making different mistakes. And let's face it, that's what life's about. I'm not sure about you, but for me personally, if I look at some of my unsuccessful business attempts, I have got so much valuable lessons from them. And so by teaching to children in today's world that it's okay to make a mistake, but it's giving them the idea to be able to move through those mistakes, and that's good. That's a good thing from my perspective. From the business side that Anita mentioned, what better way to be able to make an income for myself than to help children, families and communities anywhere in the world to be more successful. You know, we've done some research in Mexico and South America, just to name a few, where we've gone to people in those countries, the adults in those countries, explained this product to them and asked them what would they prefer, the traditional direct sales products like juices or vitamins or minerals, or would they prefer this product? And to a person, they all said they would prefer this product because they know that if they can help their children and their grandchildren to learn English and entrepreneurship skills, that's going to help the whole family and it's going to help the whole community. And what we do for the adults is we teach the adults how, by sharing these programs with other families and other communities in their countries and around the world, they can make an extra $500,000, $2,000 a month or more. You know, I don't want to go into detail on that because this particular video is really about the value of the Woogi English. But that, you know, just an extra $1,000 a month can be life-changing for people in some of those countries like Mexico, the Philippines, Indonesia and that. So over to you, Anita. I know that you're going to take us in and just show us a few things in the game. Back to you.
Thanks so much, Stephen. Wow, that was great. Really very informative, and thank you for putting it all so well. Now, I have to warn you folks that Woogi English has a mind of its own, and that's why kids love it so much. But as Stephen pointed out, adults, if you play games, you're going to love this. And I play a few games online, not too much, but I do, and I like challenging myself to get to the next level, and that's certainly what kids do here. So I'm enjoying Woogi English as an adult. I just want to show you something. Up at the top, it says Cerise in the purple box here, but you see some gears right beside it. Before I click on start, I'm just going to click there, and I'm going to show you that you can select the subtitles that you want in your game. For now, we have English subtitles, Spanish or Chinese. I've set it at Spanish, so if you see any Spanish words come up as I go through some of these slides, that's why. Okay? Now what the children will hear is they will hear the English spoken, but they will be able to read the Spanish subtitle, and that reinforces what they're hearing in English. So that's just another feature of this that I thought I'd show you before we go in. So I'll just click on back, and I'm going to click start. Now, Woogi is made up of units, and every unit has several lessons, and each of the lessons deal with various subjects and things that are really important to the learning of the English language. And they're a lot of fun as well. So what I'm going to do is show you the various units that are there, and then I'm going to click on the lessons in Unit 1 just so you can see what kind of lessons they have. There may be a little bit of background because sometimes they start talking right away. And so just bear with me and just think about this as a chance to get a glimpse into what you're going to see when you go into Woogi English. And of course what you're going to hear is a whole other realm, and it's very exciting and a lot of fun. So just let's go on this little tour. I'm going to click start now and we'll see what happens. Okay, there you have the first 6 units. There are 35 units in all. If I go over to this green arrow here, we have 7 to 12, 13 to 18, up to 24, 30, and all the way up to 35. Now, the child can go into whatever unit they want to go into. How about Diary of a Silly Kid? We'll click on that unit, and what's going to come up is some vocabulary, and they're talking and everything, but I'm going to click past that onto start, and that will show you the various lessons that come with each unit. And you can see that each lesson has 3 stars that the child can work their way through. Okay, I'm just going to click on, let's see, let me pick Grammar Grip.
Arnold went to school. Then what did he do? Then he hit his head.
Okay, so it goes on. You can see here that the child can record their own voice. They can replay it to themselves and listen see how they sound, that sort of thing. A lot of fun, obviously. Back here, I'm going to click on the little house up at the top, and that will take me back to the lessons section. And in some of these lessons, they actually have an easy, an intermediate, and a difficult section that they can work their way through. And that sometimes has to do with speed. So there's speed involved in this as well as accuracy. So it's really teaching, teaching kids a lot of, and adults, a lot of really useful skills. So Woogi Create is a virtual world that once the child has learned some English, they are invited into Woogi Create, which is a virtual world where their Woogi, or avatar, as we may know it, will enter the world. It's a virtual world. They will be able to take part in activities where they learn entrepreneurial skills. They're going to, as we said before, meet with kids from all over the world. They're going to interact with them, and I don't even know. I can't wait to get into it, but the results have been amazing all over the world in places where Woogi is already up and running. So Stephen, you may have just a couple of words to say about some of the success and some of the places that Woogi is already in play.
Yeah,
and
look,
I will just go back to the units.
well, thanks, Anita. And yeah, look, on like, let me just touch on firstly the Woogi English, and the best story I could share. You know, there's to learn English for a child with English as a second language, it can be life-changing for those families. You know, it can be the difference between that child being able to get a job and not get a job. Or, you know, and the ability to speak English in countries like the Philippines, Indonesia, Mexico, South America, the ability to speak English, it could mean not only getting a job, but it could also mean the difference between them getting paid 3 or 4 times the amount of money they could get paid if they can't speak English. Not to mention the value, let's face it, in today's world, it's all online and the internet. And, you know, I think it's about 65 to 70% of the content on the internet is in English. So there's just so many benefits for a child to learn English. And then you've got the children where English is, they already learn English, but this can help them to improve that. Now, on the Woogi Create side of it, well, let me stay on Woogi English just for a second. I'll tell you one story, a story that was shared with us about a 7-year-old autistic boy from El Salvador. Had never spoken a word before. And then that child started playing Woogi English. And after only 2 days of playing what Anita has just demonstrated to you, that child started to talk for the first time ever. His father was so out of his mind with excitement that he sent an audio clip to his sponsor, thanking his sponsor and sharing with his sponsor what had happened for his 7-year-old autistic boy. Imagine if you were the person that shared that with them. That's the value of promoting this program. You know, I believe that's priceless. Do we make money for doing this and promoting it? Yes, but you can't put a price on that type. And that's knowing that you can be making that type of a difference. Now, on the Woogi Create, now that's for every children. Tell me a parent or a grandparent who would not want their child or grandchild to learn leadership skills, business skills, so that they can become a job creator. They can actually run businesses, and the children that are going through Woogi English and Woogi Create can be the future business leaders in the world. That's what this program is all about, and there's so much more being added to the Woogi Create program. And so when you look at that, then that sort of, I'm hoping this video, we've gone a little bit of extra time, but I think for the extra, you know, 5 minutes or so that Anita giving me permission to share some information here, I'm hoping that what Anita and I have shared with you today gives you the value of what can happen when people purchase the Wealth Boss Woogi English Woogi Create package. and the value that it can offer to children, families and communities all over the world. Is there anything that you'd like to finish up with, Anita?
No, I think you've just wrapped that up beautifully, Stephen. So thank you very much. And it was fun doing this video with you. As you say, I hope people have a better understanding of the value of this program, and that they get back to the person who showed them this video, or they find out how they can join WealthBoss and get their very own Woogi system on their computer and get started. So thank you everyone for being here. Thank you, Stephen, and I'll say goodbye for now.
Well, and thank you, Anita. A fabulous job, and thank you for taking time to share this information with all of us. Bye for now, everyone.